Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Churchill Downs. Here on Friday, it is the 6th of May, 2022. It's Kentucky Oaks Day from Churchill, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races, including the Kentucky Oaks. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And remember to join me tomorrow for my big one, the Kentucky Derby preview. It's going to be an excellent weekend of racing from Churchill, so I hope you join me all weekend for that. But it's Oaks Day. It might be a very, wet Oaks Day. A lot of rain in the forecast Thursday into Friday, so just keep that in mind. We're going to look at the stakes races 5 through 11. A lot of action to get to. Let's start off with the fifth race, the first stakes on the program. It is the Modesty Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $250,000, race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses going to the newly renovated Mount Wynn turf course, the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, with the distance of ground of a mile and 1/8 on the Mount Wynn turf course, 1,800 meters, a mile 1/8. And traditionally, first things first, traditionally this race is run at Arlington in mid-July as a prep race for the Beverly D. Now with Arlington no longer, they moved a lot of those races to Churchill, like the Arlington Million and the Beverly D and the Secretary are going to be run here in one day race meet in August, but some of the other races, like I believe the Chicago Handicap, the American Derby, they brought these races to Churchill along with Modesty, and I think it's a good idea keeping these races. And something Oaks weekend was missing was that good older filly and mare turf race at a mile and 1/8, kind of a good prep race for the New York Stakes coming up in about 9 weeks, something like that, whatever Belmont Stakes is, 6 weeks. So it's it's a good prep race for that, and I like it. But keep in mind with the turf, with a lot of rain, the turf course might be wet, but traditionally also this turf course drains very quickly, and now with it being newly renovated also, it should probably drain a lot faster, so it shouldn't be so soft, but it's going to be on the softer side. It's not going to be rock hard firm. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 6-horse Hendy Woods. Let's go 6-8-5-1 in the superfecta. 6-8-5-1 super. Top selection 6-horse Hendy Woods. 5-year-old mare by Uncle Mo. Mark Cassey trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. 5-1 here. His most recent outing came 26th of March at the Fairgrounds. Mile 16th on the Stall Wilson turf course in the Tom Benson Memorial, and the horse finished 6th by 4 lengths that day. He just didn't show a lot that day off the bench. Sat back early, a little bit wide, but just never got the good turn of foot. Coming back to Churchill, sitting a little closer on this turf course, I think the horse could run a lot better race than he did last time out. 2 back in the grade 1 First Lady at Keeneland, 1 mile on the 9th of October. The horse finished 10th by 6 1/4 lengths that day. Just had a little bit of a trouble trip, a little bit wide, a little bit tight at times, and just couldn't get out. But the race before Kentucky Downs, this horse really ran terrific. Mile 70 yards in the One Dreamer Stakes. The horse went by 4.5 lengths from a track position, a little bit wide, but looked like you want to be a little wide at Kentucky Downs at times last summer. She got the job done in hand, and then the De La Rose at Saratoga, a mile on the inner turf course. The horse finished 2nd by a half length. Just couldn't keep up late, just stalked a very fast pace, which cost her. But coming back to this turf course with a little give in it, I think she could really run a good race. She's a versatile horse. She could set the pace or come from behind. 5-1, we're going to use her. Don't throw out the 8-horse Bleecker Street. Flavian Pratt's on this 4-year-old filly by Quality Road. Chad Brown trains. I remember backing this horse at the Meadowlands last fall, going a mile on a hounds race, 45,000, and the horse went by 1.5 lengths at nearly 3-1, which was easy money. I made a lot of money with her that day because she put on a show. Since then, she started this year off at Tampa with a very easy victory. Came back to win the Endeavor very easily at 7-1, and then won the Hillsborough against some very tough horses. And the Hillsborough race was the easiest race because she just flipped the other horses off and just kept going. She's training well. Question is, can she handle given the ground? But I think at 9-5, she's on the up and up. You have to watch out for her making it 6 for 6 today. And the 5-horse Lake Lucerne, ran that Tom Benson Memorial last time at the Fairgrounds, where the horse really never got going. But some of the races in 2021 can definitely win against these horses. At 15-1, we'll definitely use this horse in the early pick 4, the early I believe there's a pick 4 that begins with race 4, so if you want to use it there, definitely use her there. But to recap my selection for the 5th from Churchill, it's the Modesty Stakes. We're going to take as a top selection the 6-horse Hendy Woods. We'll give kudos to the 8-horse Bleecker Street and the 5-horse Lake Lucerne. 6-8-5-1 super. Let's go 6-8-5 in the multi-race. The 6th race from Churchill, it's the Trione Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse of $750,000, race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have 7 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground here of 1,700 meters, or a mile 1/16 on the Churchill main track. 1,700 meters, a mile 16th here in the La Trione. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 6 horse, who is Pauline's Pearl. Let's go 6215 in the superfecta. 6215 super. Top selection, 6 horse, Pauline's Pearl. 4-year-old filly by Tapit. Steve Asmussen trains. Joel Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 12th of March at Oaklawn. Mile 16th in the Grade 2 Azari Stakes. And the horse finished second by 3/4 length. She didn't break that well, which probably cost her that day. She had to go a little bit farther back than she wanted to. She closed up a little bit late, but was just a little bit behind the A ball there. Coming here with hopefully a better break, forwardly pace on this track, I think she could really run a good race. She's a little bit of a late developing horse. Early on in her 3-year-old campaign last year, she was just a little lackadaisical all the time. But when they gave her the break, after the Oaks last year, she really become a better horse, and she's really been on the improve. Last time, 2 back in the Houston's Ladies Classic at Sam Houston, mile 16th, 30th of January, the horse went by 3 3/4 lengths and really closed up to win driving away. An all-around great race for this horse there. And then prior to that, in the Zia Park Oaks at Zia, mile 16, 23rd November, the horse went by 1/2 lengths. Was facing not the world's toughest races, but this horse got the job very easily, and then ran her heart out, I thought, in the Remington Park Oaks, where she just couldn't catch the winner, but she stalked a very fast pace that day. Nothing bad about that run. Should see a good pace to run with, and I think at 2-1, she's a likely winner. You can't throw out the 2 horse here. She is a daredevil. 5 for 5 on this track. She won the Kentucky Oaks here in September 2020 very, very nicely. Came back to run a disappointing third after that in the Spinster. Her 4-year-old campaign, she ran good in times and then crap at times. She won here at Churchill in Lotus Grove in the fall, won the Clement Hirsch at Delmar in August, but then she ran a disappointing Ogden Phipps, but won this race last year very nicely. Her seasonal reappearance in the Azara, she just really never got going. I think she was a little flat off the bench. She definitely needed the race. Come back to the track she likes running at 6-5, you definitely have to use her in the pick 4, or you could use her in the 2-day pick 6 that begins with this race. It connects the La Trione, the Oaks, the Derby, City Distaff, the Churchill Downs Stakes, the Turf Classic, and the Derby. So it's a 20-cent or $2 wager. Definitely use her there. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Churchill, it's La Trione. We're going to take the 6 horse Pauline's Pearl as top selection. We'll give kudos to the 2 horse She's a Daredevil. 6215 super, 6-2 in the multi-race. The 7th race from Churchill, it's the Alysheba Stakes. It's a grade 2 event going for a purse of $500,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have 8 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground is 1,700 meters. The distance of ground of mile 1/16 on the Churchill main track. 1,700 meters, a mile 1/16 here in the Alysheba. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 7 horse here, Happy Saver. Let's go 7-5-1-6 in the superfecta. 7-5-1-6 super. Top selection, 7 horse, Happy Saver. 5-year-old horse by Super Saver. Tom Fletcher trains. Iridatis Jr. gets the mount. The horse hasn't been seen since the fall. They came the 26th of November locally here at Churchill. A mile and 8th in the Clark Handicap, and the horse finished second by half length. Didn't break so well. A little bit farther back. He closed up well behind Maxfield, but he just he needed to grind it out a little bit longer. He likes probably a mile and a quarter. Mile and a quarter probably his better trip. Coming here to a mile 16th off the bench, training well. I'm going to give him a shot. 2 back on the 4th of September at Saratoga, a mile and a quarter in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. The horse finished second by 4 lengths that day and just never really showed up off the bench. He was just very, very flat. He should have did a lot better than he did that day. But he really improved next start out with the Clark. And then prior to that, the Suburban on the slop at Belmont, a mile and a quarter, 3rd of July. The horse finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths that day, was stupidly wide, and just never really got towards the front end that day. But he won his seasonal reappearance before that in late May of 2021 at Belmont. 1 mile and option 100, winning by a length that day. He didn't break so well. He sat back early, a little bit wide, but he got the job done. He was a late developing 3-year-old. They thought about possibly putting him in some Derby prep races, but they decided, let's not. Broke his maiden June of 2020 at Belmont, going 7/8 very easily. Came back to win a allowance race, going 9 furlongs at Saratoga very, very easily, earning a 96 Spire. Then they ran him in the Tessio at Laurel on Labor Day 2020, where he won by 1/4 lengths, and then took him to Grade 1 competition in the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Belmont, a mile and a quarter, October of 2020, winning by 3/4 length, earning a 103 Spire. He really, put on a show. I really like that run for him there. He's training well. At 7-2, he has some hidden form that could definitely win against these horses. The 5 horse Olympiad is your second likeliest winner, 4-year-old colt by Spicetown. Belmont trains. Junior Alvarado comes in to ride this one. This horse has posted triple-digit buyers in his last three outings. When the New Orleans Handicap or Classic very easily last time out, earning a 103 buyer. When the Mine Shaft before that by 2 1/4 lengths, earning a 102 buyer, and then a 101 buyer for his 2022 debut. An optional 6-2 at Gulfstream, going a mile 16th. Won by 7 1/4 lengths. That 101 buyer, very very good run. He has a great tracking position, which I think should do wonders for this race. He should like the two turns at 9 to 5. You definitely have to use this horse in the multi-race. And also, watch out for the one horse and max player. If the good max player shows up today, he wins his race by a country mile. But then he can run these clunkers like he did in the Breeders' Cup Classic or in that Pimlico Special last year, where he just had nothing, absolutely nothing. But like I said, if he shows up on his day, he could definitely win. But to recap my selection for the 7 from Churchill, it's the Grade 2 Alysheba. As a top selection, we'll take the 7 horse Happy Saver. Give kudos to the 5 horse Olympiad and the 1 horse max player. 7-5-1-6 Super, 7-5-1 in the multi-race. The 8th race now from Churchill. It's the Edgewood Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $500,000. Race for fillies of May. First, give me 3-year-old fillies here. Field of 10 horses heading to the Mount Wynn turf course. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the mile 16th trip on the turf course. 1,700 meters, mile 16th here in the Edgewood. Kind of a good stepping stone towards those Belmont Oaks, the Beverly D if they want to go there. Some of those good 3-year-old turf races in the later on in the season. My top selection here, I'm gonna go with the number 5 horse Dolce Zel. Let's go 5-8-3-9 in the superfecta. 5-8-3-9 Super, top selection of 5 horse Dolce Zel, 3-year-old filly by Zelzel. Chad Brown trains. Ira Ortiz Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came on the 9th of April, second off the bench at Keeneland, a mile on good ground in the Grade 2 Appalachian, and the horse finished second by 1 3/4 lengths. Didn't break that well, got a little bit forwardly paced that day, quickened up, but just couldn't catch the winner, Spenderella, who just had the jump on this horse. Hopefully a better break today, sitting a little closer. I think this horse could really run a good race. Her North America debut came on the 12th of March at Tampa, mile 16th on a good turf course in the Grade 3 Florida Oaks. The horse went by ahead that day. She stalked all the way around the race course, a little bit wide in the straightaway, but that's what you want to do for that closing kick on the Tampa turf course. This horse got the job done very, very nicely. An all-around great race there. And the previous race in 2021 came out of Longchamp in Paris, 6.5 furlongs on soft ground and a maiden race. The horse went by 3/4 in length, and on the front end almost all throughout. This horse showed a lot of speed. The debut at the on the 26th of July, though, was a disaster. 7 furlongs in a maiden race. The horse finished 14th by 6 1/4 lengths. Never really broke well, never settled, and just never, it was very lackadaisical, never got the job done, but has really been on the improve with every single race. Coming here back to soft ground, going a mile 16th. I'm going to give this horse a shot today. You also have to give shot to the 8 horse here, Spicer, 3-year-old filly by Quality Road. Chad Brown trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. In that Florida Oaks most recently, the horse finished second by head and just couldn't keep up late. She ran her heart out there, maybe a little bit too fast to the first quarter. But before that, won main special Aqueduct very, very nicely in the fall, and had a decent third at Belmont in the fall also. Been on the up and up. Definitely use this horse in the multis. And also, we're gonna give you the Chad Brown trifecta here. The 3 horse McCulloch, I think you have to give a shot to. Hasn't been seen since the Miss Grillo, where the horse ran a 3rd place finish, where the horse was just a little bit wide, and also had a little bit of trouble trip there. But won the debut at Saratoga last summer very, very nicely. If you can handle the soft ground, she could definitely win it. 7-2, we'll use her, but she might need the race. I do prefer the other 2 before her. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Churchill, it's the Edgewood Stakes. We're going to take the 5 horse Dolce Zel, give kudos to the 8 horse Spicer and the 3 horse McCulloch. 5-8-3-9 Super, 5-8-3 in the multi-race. The 9th race from Churchill, it is the 8 Bell Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse $500,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 10 horses heading to the main track. The distance of ground here, 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Churchill main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs in the 8 Bells. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number, where are we? I'm going to go with the 4 horse, Ain't Easy. Let's go 4-8-5-1 in the superfecta. 4-8-5-1 super. Top selection of 4 horse, Ain't Easy. 3-year-old filly by Into the Mischief. Phil D'Amato trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came 9th of April at Santa Anita, a mile 16th at the Grade 2 Santa Anita Oaks, and the horse finished 3rd by 7 3/4 lengths that day. Was with them early on, setting the pace, but then just kind of crumbled. I don't think this horse wants 2 turns. 7 furlong, 1 turn is what this horse really likes. She probably doesn't even need the lead today. She could come from a tracking position, and I think she could really run a good race here today back to 7. But the biggest question is if there's going to be a sloppy or an off-going, can she handle the kickback? That's going to be the main question with her. But like I said, 7 is what she wants to do. 2 back in this grade 3 Santa Yezebel Santanita, mile 16th on the 6th of March. Off the bench, finished third by 4.5 lengths. Like I said, she doesn't want to go 2 turns. Also, she didn't run off the bench. She needed the race there, finishing third by 4.25 lengths. She was on the inside and just couldn't catch the winner, Ada, who just ran that better race. But her final start of 2021 at Santanita, mile 16th in the grade 2 Chandelier, she won by 4.75 lengths. She wasn't facing the toughest horses that day, but she had everything her own way. She had a 3/4 breather, which really got to her liking, and she got the job done going away. An all-around easy race, even though, like I said, she's not a 2-turn horse. She's a 1-turn horse. The debut on the 21st of August at Delmar, 5.5 in the main special weight. She won by 5.25 lengths. She had a little bit of an inside trip that day early on, but really closed up well late to get the job done. She's really been on the improve. I'm going to give her a shot here. Training well at Santanita. You can't throw out the Godolphin 8-horse Maitreya. Brad Cox trains 1. Flavian Pratt gets down. Most recently in the Beaumont going about 7 at Keelan. The horse by 8.5 lengths and never really was used that day. That was a very easy run, earning a 94 buyer. Before that at Fairgrounds, 6 furlongs and allowance race 53,000. Won by 5.5 lengths. Another very easy run. They tried a routing early on in her career, but she didn't want to go routing. Since cutting back to a sprinting trip, she's really become a lot better horse. At 5-2, we definitely have to use her in the multis. But to recount my selection for the night from Churchill, it is the grade 2 8 bells. We're going to take the 4-horse Ain't Easy. Give kudos to the 8-horse Maitreya. 4-8-5-1 super. 4-8 in the multi-race. Let's get to the 10th race, which is the Twin Spires Turf Sprint. It's a grade 2 event going for a purse of $500,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 13 horses, a baker's dozen going to the Mount Wynn Turf Course. The distance of ground here of 1,100 meters, or the distance of ground of 5.5 furlongs on the Mount Wynn Turf Course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs in the Twin Spires Turf Sprint. My top selection, we're going to go take the 3-horse Caravelle as a top selection. We'll go 3-8-110 in the superfecta. 3-8-110 super. My top selection, my best by the day, is going to be the 3-horse Caravelle. 5-year-old mare by Mizzen. Brad Cox trains. Tirely Gaffleone gets the mount on this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 19th of March at Turfway. 6 furlongs in the Queen Stakes, and the horse finished 1 by 3.75 lengths, basically on the front end all around. Nobody was catching this horse. Everybody knew she was going to win, and she won just that easily. An all-around good race for her. Coming back to turf, gonna have to handle a soft going, but when she's fairly paced, she really runs these good races. The inside post rows on turf sprints here at Churchill are always ideal. A little bit forwardly paced also is a little ideal also. 2 back short in the Breeze Cup turf sprint at Delmar, 5 furlongs in the 6th of November. She finished 12th by 9.25 lengths that day. She was with them early on, but then completely crumbled. It just wasn't her day to win there against those very tougher horses. And then turf monster at Parks, 5 furlongs, 25th of September. She finished 6th by 4.25 lengths that day. And that turf course at Parks last summer, at the end of the summer, was very, very chewed up. I don't think it was turf. It was just about the equivalent of Gulfstream's turf course at times. Very chewed up, and the horse never got a good handle of it. And I just throw that race out because it just wasn't turf there. And then before then, the Highlander at Woodbine, 6 furlongs, 22nd of August. The horse finished third by 1.25 lengths. Was with them early on, had the lead, just kind of got caught late, but still ran her heart out. And then before that, on the Crest at Saratoga, 5.5 on the 24th of July, winning by 2.75 lengths from a tracking position. She won quite nicely there. If you look at those races in early 2021, she won the Goldwood before that at Monmouth, won very nicely from a tracking position, and then she finished third in the license fee before that 2 weeks prior. She has a lot of pace in her. She can handle giving the go. She's forwardly paced. She's training well over the turf course. She has 2 workouts this week, half mile and 49 and 2, the best workout of 10, and another half mile drill and 48 and 3, the best out of 9 with the dogs up on firm ground. So I think she's rearing to go. Second off the bench at 5-1. I love her a lot. She's going to get a lot of money from me here today. She's going to be single for me also in the late pick 4. So to recap my selection for the 10th from Churchill, it is the Twin Spires Turf Sprint. We're going to take the 3-horse Caravelle as a top selection. We'll go 38110 Super. Single of 3, my best bet of the day, Caravel in the Twin Spires Turf Sprint. Let's get to the featured 11th race from Churchill. The 11th race, it is the Kentucky Oaks. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse of $1.25 million. This race is for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 15 horses entered, but only 14 could go to the main track. The distance of ground here of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 1/8 on the Churchill main track. 1,800 meters, 1 1/8 here in the Kentucky Oaks. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 4 horse here, Nest. Let's go 4-10-2-7 in the superfecta. 4-10-2-7 in the super. Top selection of 4 horse Nest. 3-year-old filly by Curlin. Top Fletcher trains as 1. Iratus Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 8th of April, Keelan. A wet fast but Herod going, a mile 16th in the grade 1 Ashland. And the horse went by 8 1/4 lengths. The horse sat back early. She got the lead, slowly moved her way up, and got the job done in hand. An all-around easy run. A longer trip shouldn't be a problem. You know, she's been on the improve with every single race coming here today, training well. I think she's on the up and up. 2 back in the Suncoast of Tampa, mile 40 on the 12th of February. The horse went by 6 lengths. Again, she sat back early, a little bit wide, but when she got the lead, she quickened up nicely. The Tampa track could be very deep at time. That was a very good stamina builder, I thought, and I thought that was a very good, easy victory there. And then before that, she ran the 4th of December in the Demoiselle at Aqueduct, mile and 8 there. She won by neck. She closed up from nowhere, a little bit wide. She got the job done. An all-around easy race. Keep in mind, the Demoiselle, along with the Remsen, have been very good races. The horses that have been coming out of them have really been showing up a lot. Keep in mind, the 1, 2, 3, I believe 4 or 5 also all went next set out. So it's that Demoiselle, one of the best races of the fall of 2021 at Aqueduct. And then prior to that, attempted at Belmont, 1 mile on the 5th of November. The horse finished 3rd by 3/4 in length. She was a little slow that day early on. She never really showed up, a little bit wide. And when the IRAD didn't ride her, it was Dylan Davis. I don't think he gave her the best ride. I think she should have been a little bit forwardly paced. But the debut before that on the 25th of September at Belmont, mile 16th in the main special weight, she won by 5 lengths, and I remember watching the race live that day. She stalked, she got the lead, and she just won for fun. And all-around easy race, a little drifting late, but that was no problem. She's training well since the last run. I think her workouts, well is an understatement. The workouts are getting better on paper, and I think with the longer trip, she should just get better to the point of, if she wins today, do they run her in the Belmont Stakes? I think she could definitely get the trip. The damn sire, AP Indy, did win the Belmont, and Curlin really ran a good race in the Belmont also in 2007. But watch out for this horse here today. You also have to watch out for the 10 horse, who is Kathleen O. This 3-year-old for the upstart, Shug McGahee trains. Javier Castellano gets the mount. Most recently, the Gulfstream Park Oaks, the horse by 2 3/4 lengths. She doesn't have forwardly pace, but she settled well early on, a little bit wide, but got the job done. An all-around easy race there. Before then, the Devona Dale, the horse by 2 lengths, another easy run, and then won the cash run on New Year's Day very nicely. And she's proven she could run with, if there's going to be an off track, and she's come from behind, she's going to have a lot of dirt in her face, but she handled it in her debut on the mud as a 2-year-old at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs in main special weight, winning by head, closing up from nowhere, stupidly wide. She got the job done there. She's training well also. Her buyers are up to scratch. It's 7-2. Watch out for her there. And as a wise guy horse that's 2-horse nostalgic, she's going to have to jump up quite a few buyer points to win. But I do like her Gazelle race, and I like her race before that in Option 75 at Gulfstream going a mile 16th. She should be forwardly paced. She should definitely get the trip. Her only subpar race was the turf race in the Sweet Chan, where the horse just wasn't handling the turf. But her dirt races are up to scratch. She's on the improve. Watch out for her. If she doesn't win today, she's going to have a great next few starts. But, watch out. But to recap my selections for the 11th from Churchill, it's the grade 1, $1.25 million Kentucky Oaks. As a top selection, we'll take the 4-horse Nest. We will give kudos to the 10-horse Kathleen O and the 2-horse Nostalgic. 4-10-2-7 Super, 4-10-2 in your multi-race. So good luck to all. Remember to join me tomorrow for my Kentucky Oaks preview from Churchill, and also follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Get 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Good luck, everybody.